want a religion? This is maybe a good question. You have to invest in a shrine to get a religion. It can be an investment that you don't always want to make, especially early when you're rushing workers or military or settlers or things like this. And it's not always even guaranteed to get your religion. So why do you want a religion? There's a number of early benefits that come with the religion, often in forms of culture or production, but also things like happiness or even more culture from things like actually founding a religion. So there are some kind of early game benefits to that. And there's also a very notable late game benefit of being able to faith purchase great people, particularly great engineers and great scientists. And this is a mechanic that is something that other players who don't have decent faith generation can't do. Late game is a lot about all being scientists, about using science for the maximum science yield and a one-shot deal to quickly advance through the technology tree to get to very specific, often military techs. The way people tend to stockpile great scientists, you generate great scientists by great people points, and each great person you generate, a scientist, an engineer, or a merchant, they're linked. Every one that you generate ups the cost of the next one of that same type that you generate. So if you generate a merchant, your next scientist costs more, etc. By purchasing great people with faith, you can totally avoid the limitations that other players are restricted by. Not only do you get the same number of great people generated, hard generated through great people points, but you also can, in addition to those great people, purchase people with great scientists and great engineers with faith that don't count towards that great person point generation system, which gives you an advantage in the late game that players who do not have strong faith generation cannot get to. So early game advantages in hammers, happiness, and culture. Late game advantages in great people purchasing, and basically the indirect advantage of the science and happiness early is a better tech base for your civilization anyways. So how do you get a religion? First of all, you need to get a pantheon. Pantheon is generated by accumulating faith in your empire. The first pantheon goes for 6 faith, the second for 9, the third for 12, the fourth for 15, the fifth for 18, the sixth for 21. This is again on 6-way free-for-all, which is the type of game this guide is designed to talk about. The thing about those faith costs are, if you notice, the second pantheon costs more than the third costs more than the second, etc. And what this means is if in simultaneous play, if two people, let's say two people meet two different faith city states in the same turn, so they each get 8 faith for meeting a city state that hasn't been met, a faith city state that hasn't been met by anybody else. At the beginning of the next turn, they're each given the option to found a pantheon. Whoever clicks first gets the pantheon. And the person who doesn't click first, he now has a 9 faith cost pantheon. He can no longer found a pantheon on that turn. So whenever you're founding a pantheon or even a religion or enhancing religion, always be aware that you are competing with other players in a real-time environment, and that if you do not get your picks out first, they will get their picks out first, or have the potential to get their picks out first, and you may lose the option to even pick anything. I can't even begin to count the number of times that I've either lost Desert Faith by one turn or lost Desert Faith on the same turn because someone else is spam clicking that and I didn't click fast enough. So just be aware of that. So that's a pantheon. How do you get a pantheon? Well, from pantheon we talked about how do you get a religion. Once you have a pantheon founded, the first person, well, when you reach 134 faith, you have a chance at a great profit. The chance at a great profit is a base chance of 5% plus 1% per faith that you have over 134. So if you have 154 faith accumulated, you have 5% base plus 20% over that 134. So you have a 25% chance on that turn of generating a profit. Now, let's say you're generating 1 faith per turn. Turn after that, you have a 26% chance at a profit. Turn after that, you have 27%, etc., for that. So once you get your great profit generated, you have to be one of the first 4 people to found a religion. If 4 religions go and then you accumulate the faith to found to generate a great profit, your great profit just will never spawn because you're no longer able to do that. So once 4 religions are founded in the 6-way free for all, you are done. There's no more religions available. There's only 4 people get it. So it's a first come first served basis, and it's quite an impactful portion of the Civ gameplay. It's one of those resources like culture that especially newer players don't understand why it's so important. It's not as easily used as, for example, production or gold or something like that. It's a little hard to see why this is useful, but it has a very impactful has a very impactful influence on your game, especially in the late game. So let's talk a little bit about what you'd want to pick and why you want to pick that for religions. So let's go ahead and found. So let's say that you're Ethiopia, you have good faith resources, but this city doesn't. And you get your pantheon out. Let's go ahead and get our pantheon out. And you get your stele out, and then you immediately are given a pretty quick option on a pantheon. And I'm looking for this. Let's go through. We're going to run through all the tenets, religious tenets in the game, starting with pantheons and moving into founder beliefs, follower beliefs, enhancer beliefs, and reformation beliefs. We're going to try to do that relatively quickly. Unlike the civilizations when I'm talking about the various bonuses the civs have in the various units, there actually isn't quite as much to talk about when it comes to religion, because the religions are a lot less. They're much more hit or miss. They're either good or bad, and it tends to be when they're good, it's fairly obvious why they're good, especially the pantheons, because it's based on the terrain you're using. Plus 1 culture from shrines is a fairly weak pantheon. It only gives you 1 culture per shrine. Your number of shrines is limited by the number of cities in your empire, and 1 culture per shrine is not a whole lot of culture. Even early, it's not a whole lot of culture, and this becomes a pretty meaningless bonus towards the late game. You have to have a ton of cities to make this worthwhile. If you have a ton of cities, there's probably pantheons that are better for your overall empire than 1 culture per shrine. This is a fairly weak pickup. I don't really recommend it. Density of Aurora, also fairly bad. The problem is that the tundra tiles you're likely to be working, especially early when the faith generation matters the most, are going to be deer tundra, which does give you faith, wooded deer tundra, which doesn't give you faith, tundra hills, which do give you faith, and lumber mill tundra, which doesn't give you faith. So basically half the tiles you want to work anyways, you don't get faith from, and the other tundra tiles are pretty much unworkable. So it becomes very, very difficult to get a lot of faith from tundra. Most of the time you're not going to be expanding to tundra deliberately. You might have to found 1 or 2 cities in tundra, but the bulk of your empire is probably not going to be in the tundra abyss that you're stuck in, so you're just not going to get the faith you need from this. You can really think of pantheons in 2 broad groups. The first group is a pantheon designed to get your religion. These are generally going to be faith generating pantheons. The second group are pantheons designed to give you early game bonuses, non-faith bonuses. So maybe they give you a bonus to your culture game, your production game, or your happiness game, or something like this. And you're going to see that split fairly well across these various pantheons. And if it's a faith-based pantheon, if that's the point picking up the pantheon is to generate more faith, so you're going to get a religion, you need to be efficient at doing that, and this is not a particularly efficient way of generating faith. Desert folklore is, however, one of the most efficient faith pantheons. Basically because the desert tiles you're working early are oasis tiles, are floodplain tiles, are desert hill tiles, and all these tiles are just fine to work, unlike the restrictions on the tundra tiles. And if you do manage to get something like Petra or multiple cities in desert, where every single tile that you're working is giving you faith, this is a ton of faith, it's a ton of early faith, and it's very likely to get your religion. It's a very, very strong pantheon. Earth Mother is another fairly strong pantheon. If you have salt, you're guaranteed to be working salt. It's one of the most efficient early game resources. So of course you're going to be working salt, and because you're working a tile, you're getting the faith deal out of it. Copper and iron also fairly good. On strategic balance, you're guaranteed iron in your capital. You tend to work that tile once you research iron tech, so that especially early as you're building settlers, because it has a very high production yield. Production is very important for getting your settlers out, so you tend to be working faith on that. And copper is a fairly strong resource. It's basically a hill that also gives you gold. So often, and that hill you're probably going to prioritize improving as well, so it gives you even more production because you need happiness from it. So you're very likely to be working copper as well. This becomes a fairly good faith generating pantheon assuming you have multiples of these resources in your city. Since you're always guaranteed iron, you often have at least 2 or 3 of these resources in a city that's going to pick this up. Faith healer is totally useless. It's one of those bonuses that isn't designed to give you faith. The problem is it's a very situational, very limited bonus. It's only going to give you this healing if your unit does nothing else for that turn and is adjacent to your city. So it needs to be basically fortified, and at that point it's just not a bonus that is going to be impactful enough in combat to matter. You can pick this up if you're really desperate and you're about to die, and yeah, and you want to be useless because that's what that is. Fertility rights on the surface seems like it'd be fairly decent. Growth is really important because it is one of the primary contributors to your science game is your population growth is very, very important. However, this is 10% faster. When it says 10% faster growth rate, what it's actually doing is it's giving you 10% to your excess food. And excess food tends not to be very much. Your total food tends to be quite large for cities. Your excess food tends to be a lot smaller than your total food. And what this means is the modifier is not being applied to what you want it to be applied. If you have, let's say you have 10 food in your city and you have 4 citizens, your citizens eat 8 of those 10 food. That means you only have 2 excess food, and that means fertility rights is only giving you 10% to the excess food, which really is not very much. God of Craftsmen is fairly weak, mostly because there's just better production pantheons out there. This is plus 1 production cities population 3+. 1 hammer early is pretty significant, especially in multiple cities. But the problem is the 3+ population means that you're not going to get this for the very, very early portion of founding a new city. This is really just going to be plus 1 production in your capital. And with the addition of God King, there's just a better plus 1 production in your capital available to you. You don't see God of Craftsmen go very much anymore just because there's better pantheons out there. God of the Open Sky, it seems on the surface to be equally as bad as God of Craftsmen, but it really isn't. Mostly because pasture resources are very, very valuable early. Pasture resources are sheep, cattle, and horses. All those tiles have a high mix of production and growth, which are the tiles you're likely to be working in the early game anyways. So adding culture to that when you improve those tiles, you're going to be priority improvements anyways, because you're working the tile and you're going to get the most benefit from improving the tile, is not a bad thing at all. Also, one culture is not a whole lot, but you tend to have a lot of pasture resources. You tend to settle towards cattle, towards horses, and towards sheep because they're valuable resources. And getting maybe like 10 or 12 culture across a 4 or 5 city empire is actually surprisingly meaningful. Now, this isn't going to get your religion on its own, so if you're going to try to protect your culture game from this, you're going to have to get a religion another way. But if you can afford, excuse me, if you can afford to do this, this is not a bad way to, not a bad pantheon at all. God of the Sea is a fairly weak pantheon, mostly because it requires an investment of fishing boats. And fishing boats are a lot of hammers in the early game. Yes, the fishing boat does provide a growth, plus 1 growth, and it's needed to connect coastal sea luxuries anyways. So sometimes you're going to be investing in these fishing boats anyways, and at that point, plus 1 hammer per fishing boat, if you have a number of sea resources, is fairly decent. But the problem is it's slow to get started, and you need a lot of them to make up for it. If you're not going to have the bonus early, because the small absolute bonus as opposed to percent-based bonus is going to be better early when you don't have a lot of hammers in your capital as opposed to late or mid where you have a lot of hammers in your capital where that plus 1 production isn't as valuable. So to really get a lot of value out of this, you need a lot of coastal resources that you're going to be able to do this with, and you need another way to produce faith so you can keep this bonus later on when it's actually going to be being applied. God of War is fairly junk as a faith generating pantheon goes. It's too inconsistent to get you to a religion in most cases. You have to be being swarmed with barbarians to really make this valuable. And at that point, you're probably having a lot of struggles that you didn't need to be having if you just dealt with the barbarians. So probably isn't going to get your religion, and it tends to be fairly weak past the barbarian phase because you're just not killing a lot of units. And if you are killing a lot of units in range of your city, you're probably losing the game. So it may not be your highest priority to be stockpiling faith at that point. God King is surprisingly good. It's surprisingly good because it's an immediate production, an immediate faith, an immediate culture, an immediate science. The gold less so, but still I guess an immediate gold less important. That happens. All that happens is once you get your pantheon. You don't have to improve anything. You don't have to do anything. There's no special resources required. It's just always available. Sometimes you can even sneak a religion in off God King if you prioritize building shrines in your expands and your other players and your other opponents have weak faith generating pantheons or chosen pantheons that aren't faith based. You sometimes will get a religion just off of God King, especially if you get this really early. If you run into a religious city state on turn 1 or turn 2 before anyone else does, and you get first pick of pantheon and you have nothing in your capital that looks like it's going to be particularly beneficial for you. Otherwise, it may be worth picking up just because of that early plus 1 hammer when you're only making 6 or 7 hammers in your capital is fairly significant, surprisingly good. Still not the best of the pantheons out there, but it can be good if you have nothing else available. Goddess of Festivals, I really don't like this. I mean, a mix of culture and faith sounds on the surface like it'd be quite good, and honestly, culture and faith is quite good. But the problem is it only applies to 1 instance tiles, and 1 instance tiles are very difficult to work early. 1 instance is mostly a gold resource, so it has a little bit. If it's a plains, it has 1 growth and 1 production and 3 gold, and if it's a grassland, it has 2 growth and 3 gold. And those tiles are not very efficient early game when you're really trying to maximize your growth or your production. So it's hard to work 1 instance early, and you need to be working. This is only a low amount of faith generations. It's 1 per 1 instance tile. You're probably not going to have all that many 1 instance tiles, maybe 4 or 5 across an empire, and that's a pretty high count. In which case, if you're going to try to get a religion off this, you need to work those tiles early. And if you're not going to get a religion, you're just trying to do it for the early culture. You still need to work those early. And it's very difficult to do that because you're not getting any production growth out of those tiles. Goddess of Love is garbage. This is a small happiness bonus that is only applied in the mid game when your cities are growing to at least population 6+, and it doesn't give you any ability to keep or maintain to generate religion. It's not useful. If you're going to take a happiness one, it should be earlier to be beneficial. Goddess of Protection. This is terrible. There's no reason to take this. Plus 30% increase in city ranged combat strength. Okay, great. Maybe as a Decimate, I guess it's better than Faith Healers, but it's still pretty terrible. This is like a desperation play. If you suddenly have a pantheon come available when you're being rushed and you have nothing else available, this may be something that might help a little tiny bit, but it's really not very good at all. Goddess of the Hunt is a fairly decent pantheon, although it's a little bit slow for my liking. The decent part is this is plus absolute value, and it's an early absolute value, right? So if you have 2 or 3 camps or 3 or 4 camps in your capital, this is almost the equivalent of getting like hanging gardens or something, but you get it as soon as you bother improving those camps. The downside, of course, is you have to improve the camps, and that may take quite a bit of worker time and trapping technology, so it's not an instant bonus when you get it, although it can be quite strong. The other downside is it won't get your religion, so unless you find some other way to get a religion, you will eventually lose this bonus, even if it's a nice bonus for your capital. But decent pickup for early game growth. Messenger of the Gods is a fairly decent pantheon if you have a lot of cities and you can get city connections up quickly. You know, the case that everyone always is like, oh, Carthage could be so good with their free harbors and instant city connections if you can take Messenger of the Gods, and yeah, maybe no. Most of the time, you're not going to get enough cities quick enough with the road connections out to this to have some sort of meaningful impact. This is quite good in teamer games or 1v1s or games where you will have a lot of cities, a lot of cities, and a lot of city connections quite early. It's much harder to do this in free-for-all multiplayer to have any sort of meaningful impact. But that said, if you have 4 cities and they're all connected by roads, it's 8 science in the early game. When you have something like 8 science anyways, or 8 to 10 science in the early game, that's a pretty significant increase in science. So if you can find a way to get this work to make this work for you, this can be a decent early game science lead, but it's not very impactful late game, and it's hard to get going in the early game efficiently. Monuments of the Gods, fairly garbage. You do see people pick this up very rarely if they're planning on doing a lot of wonder spamming and also are planning on not getting a religion, because you're basically not going to get a religion this, and occasionally you'll see someone try to combine this with like Stonehenge or something, but mostly it's just not very good because the percent production value to a very specific class of buildings or a very specific class of infrastructure isn't quite as good as the kind of all-around production bonus for the very early game. So just don't see that happen very much. It's not a very good pantheon. One with Nature is actually an excellent pantheon. A lot of the times when you're expanding to a natural wonder, you're expanding to that because it's already a faith wonder, in which case it makes it an even more efficient faith wonder, or because it has very good yields, right? You're expanding to Lake Victoria or Solomon's Mines or Kilimanjaro or something where it has decent tile yield already, and this just ups the tile yield. It makes working that tile you're already going to be working more efficient, and it's actually a decent amount of faith to potentially get your religion. Plus 4 faith will often get your religion, regardless of what the natural wonder was, even if it wasn't a faith wonder. Although 4 faith will not always get your religion. Oral Tradition, this is like a slightly worse God of the Open Sky, and it's like that because plantations are not the same basic reason the 1 instance one's a problem, right? Is that plantations are not easy to work early. You don't turn bananas into plantations. You always leave them uncut because they're better with the science yield later than they are in the early game spending the time to remove the jungle build a plantation. So you're going to be working banana tiles for sure, but you're not going to be working plantation on them because you're not going to convert them to plantations. And that begs the question of, well, what plantations will you be working early? And the answer is there aren't plantations that have a good mix of production and growth. So this becomes a fairly small culture bonus that's not going to be as common as the pasture bonus and is harder to work, so just not very good. Religious idols. is actually quite decent. This is because gold and silver are very good to work early. They have high production yields with a bonus of gold, a bonus of cash, and you're going to be working those quite a lot when you're building settlers or even sometimes building some buildings in your capital early. It's still a little bit slow for the same reason that it's not a pure faith game. So there are pure faith pantheons that are going to give their the people who've taken those pantheons better faith game. But you can get a religion with gold and silver pantheon if you prioritize some shrines and stuff like that. And the culture, of course, is a nice bonus, especially if you have a number of gold and silver throughout your empire. And this culture bonus can be somewhat impactful. Religious settlements is a fairly bad bonus, 15% faster border growth. There's just too many other better things out there. Either for getting religion or getting early benefit than 15% faster border growth. It's just not